おっすおいら大しんということで、皆さんは日本と世界の働き方の違いについて知っていますか？僕は週休7日制の会社に就職することが夢なんですけども、今回はアメリカ人とニュージーランド人の帰国の働き方についてお聞きしてきました。それでは見ていきましょう。
What is the image about working in Japan?
I mean, it's not good. I see like a lot of people like in suits on the trains. And, like,
Yeah.
They like coming home at very late hours. They don't seem happy. I mean, I know there's also like all the stereotypes I've seen online of kind of like the work culture here is not good. Like I said, coming home late on the trains, long hours. So I mean, was there anything else like kind of what kind of work or views on? It just seems that like the work culture is very, very different here, in the sense that it seems like to a lot of people who take their careers very seriously, it becomes their entire life.
True, but I met someone who said she was working here, and she said she only worked from 9 to 6, which is still longer than typical American hours. But I thought that was like kind of normal actually. So, but before, the image in my head was that the working hours were very long and hard and tedious. So
How common is overtime in America?
I think it's pretty common. Like at least I mean in a normal restaurant or a shop environment, it's pretty common.
Yeah.
But ultimately you get paid for it. Like if you work anywhere overtime, I'm pretty sure it's 1.5 times the pay. So if you make $10 an hour, every hour you go over like 8 hours in a day, then you're making 15. So I think a lot of people actually enjoy overtime in that regard. If you're a full-time employee, like an office, generally you don't get paid extra. But for the most part, you're like, I think most office workers in the U.S. work 9 to 5, maybe like an extra hour or two here and there. But it's pretty much like 8 to 9 hours a day.
Like
Not an office job.
yeah.
So there are people who like there's salary and there's hourly. People who are hourly, I think they have to make overtime. But most people who are salary, they don't get it.
Yeah.
does Japan have overtime?
Yeah, really.
A lot.
Most of people, yeah, a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
But not paid.
And depends on company, but
Yeah.
it's really serious, like a social issue in Japan. Like
Is it
overtime.
true, our perspective on Japan, where the work culture is really hard?
Yeah.
You say that's true? It's true?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the relationship between superiors and subordinates?
I think it depends on the job, right? So if you're working at a restaurant,
Yeah.
it can be like okay, like you guys can be kind of like friends with each other. But the higher up you go, I think it's more like, the boss has a lot of power over you, right? And so there's a big power gap between the boss and then the subordinates.
I think I would actually somewhat disagree with that. Like I think in absolute terms, probably in a lot of Western cultures, like especially at least my experience, like let's take the example of like students and teachers. I think in the U.S., like even at like a college level, most people are like way too informal with our professors, like very approachable. Like we consider ourselves like friends with our teachers. But I think overall, like from just the one boss above you, you can be pretty friendly. There's not a ton of distance there. But between your boss and their boss and their boss, if they tell you to do something, there's like a massive distance there that like you're gonna be super respectful. And I think that's probably more like where you'd see elsewhere in the world.
That's true.
Promotions are on salary based on age of years of service, or is it based on ability or like accomplishments?
Accomplishments?
Yeah, in Japan, because so when we get older, we can get money more and more. But even though we got like accomplishments or but we can't like get promotion.
Yeah.
So how about in America?
Yeah, no, that's really, I mean, that's kind of true, right? Because if you work somewhere, a lot of that is predicated on years of experience, but not even close to all of it. And I think there's always the pressure that you're gonna go somewhere else for more pay. So that's why like promotions have to exist, or else you'll leave. I mean, I think in like, I work in finance, so I think it's like 2 to 3 years, kind of proving you can do your job. And then if you're doing like a level 1 role, then you can move up to a level 2 role and make 20 to 40% more maybe. And then your company knows that, so there has to be like an internal scheme to do that. So to some extent, like that's going to be years of experience. After 2 to 3 years, you'll get another promotion. But if you want to, you can job hop every 1 or 2 years and do something similar. Like employers don't like to see that, so it ends up being frowned upon in the long term. But you can move around. You can like weigh your pay, you can negotiate, you can ask for more, you can get promotions.
I heard in America it's really important about your experience. For example, like internship or.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But how about background status? Like a great university or is a effect to your job hunting?
Yeah, I think it's important in some fields and less important in others. The fields that get really competitive, they try and analyze every factor they absolutely can. So if you want to be like an investment banker, then like they all want you need to have like a 3.8 plus GPA. If you want to go into like big law or like be a lawyer at like a top firm, you need to have like a really good GPA, go to a great school. And then there's just like those generally aren't people pursuing their passions. Those are the things that like everyone understands is good because they pay well. But if you want to just do something that like relates to something that you're genuinely interested in, maybe like it doesn't pay as well, then like GPA won't really matter. The quality of your school will probably matter less. But if you want to be an artist, like they don't care about your GPA. They want to see your art. They want to see your passion for it.
Okay. How many days do you stay in Japan?
30.
Third. Almost 1 month.
Yeah.
How do you get like a vacation? Is that like because you work, right?
It's very common in New Zealand for businesses to take 3 to 4 weeks over the summer. So it's our summer then.
Now summer.
So places shut down just before Christmas, so around about the 20th of December. And a lot of places shut down for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And also, if you work for the government, the public sector, you get 5 weeks holiday. So that gives you enough time to go away for a month.
What do you do in New Zealand?
I'm a kitchen detailer.
Kitchen.
So I do CAD design for kitchens before they go to manufacturing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I work for the government.
Ah, okay.
Advise on like tax policy. Yeah.
How common is overtime in New Zealand?
It is fairly common. A lot of places will give extra incentives. They might do time and a half on their pay rates, unless you're on a salary, and then it's just a fixed cost. But it's fairly common.
But I think only up to like 5 hours overtime. Like it's not 20 hours or anything like that.
How many hours do you work a day?
8.
Probably
And a half?
8 to 9.
8, 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, how much is the like minimum wage?
23.
23. Okay. In Japan, like our minimum wage is now in Tokyo 1,100 yen. Yeah, so like just $10. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the relationship between like superiors and subordinates? Like in your country.
I guess depending on who you work for, sometimes it's very close and they'll work directly with you if they feel more like a team member than a boss. Then other times they'll draw a clear line and you'll be treated quite clearly different between. So there's both sides of the coin as far as that working thing goes. It really comes down to the business and the owner, what they personally believe in, I guess.
I don't think we have like senpai kohai. It's more like your boss and then.
Oh, you can speak Japanese? Okay. Okay.
But like, for example, even though I work for the government, we're quite flat, which means like I get along very well with my manager and even my manager's manager. I'm still very respectful, but I can come up to them and ask questions if I get stuck, which is just really easy, I think. It's not too formal, maybe.
Yeah. Are promotions and salaries based on age or years of service? Or is it based on ability and accomplishments?
Probably ability and experience.
Ah, really?
Well, it goes on.
Because New Zealand's so small, I think if you do know the right people, you get into really good jobs and then that can help. And also family businesses help other family businesses and all that. But yeah, I think it's mostly skill and not your age. But it's also how many years did you work?
Yeah. But in Japan, it's, how can I say, if we work that company long time, of course we can get money like more, even without our.
I don't think that's common here.
It's not as common.
Yeah.
A lot of places will give like an annual pay rise, but that's not. They don't have to, and a lot of places won't unless you specifically ask for it. And a lot of people don't ask, so they don't.
So
get those rises.
I negotiate. Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, that's basically what
Really?
Yeah.
It's really good.
In the
Yeah.
private sector.
In the private sector,
Yeah,
public
but like
sector's a bit
in the
different.
public sector, if you're a teacher, nurse, I think it's a bit different. It's
Yeah.
a amount each year.
Yeah, of course.
And
Yeah.
it really depends.
So if you don't mind, how often do you like?
Yearly is common.
Yearly.
Yeah, and a lot of places, if you start working for them, they might offer something. Say, we'll see how you go. 6 months down the track, might give you a little bit extra. But yearly is probably the most common.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really like motivated. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
はい。っていうことで今回の動画はどうでしたか？海外で働いてみたいですか？ぜひあなたの考えをコメントでお聞かせください。今回の動画が面白いと思ったらぜひ高評価、チャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。次回はさらに日本の働き方について聞いていきますので、乞うご期待を。それじゃあ、チャオ！